Okay. Imagine that you're a new coming college student and you're full of excitement and joy, only to find yourself in a humiliating situation. This is the truth for many students that are involved in Greek life. As someone who's experienced Greek life hazing firsthand, I have extensive knowledge about the physical and psychological effects. You, as students, probably know somebody who is involved or are involved in Greek life, and it's important that you know this information so you can help educate and save other lives. Today, we will discuss what hazing is, the effects of hazing, and what we can do to stop hazing in Greek life. The dictionary defines hazing as the imposition of strenuous, often humiliating tasks as a part of a program of rigorous physical training or initiation. Keywords: strenuous, humiliating, and rigorous. Those define hazing. Nowadays, hazing can look like many things, whether it's forcing somebody to chug a whole bottle of alcohol or forcing somebody to strip naked and then point out all their flaws. Either way, it's very humiliating and it's not fun. A common misconception is that hazing is a new thing. Hazing is not new, and according to hazing historian Hank Newer, hazing can be traced back to the 4th century when Plato recounts young men playing jokes on and hazing civilians. Um, we, to this day, still use the same barbaric techniques for hazing that they did hundreds of years ago. And we as a society have failed to regulate hazing and to stop it. As students navigate college, they're trying to find who they are through their experiences and through their friend group. And because of this, when they join Greek life, all they want is to be accepted, and they will do whatever it takes to become a part of the sorority or fraternity, even if it pushes them to their limits. Um, a study done by Killigan and Irwin on moral identity of Greek men and women versus non-Greek men and women showed that non-Greek men and women had higher self-confidence, and that non-Greek women had higher moral reasoning, and that Greek men that were involved had very low self-confidence. Um, Not only does this affect your mentality, but it affects your physical state as well. Being involved in Greek life means that you're more susceptible to drinking higher amounts of alcohol and substance use. Um, a study done by the University of Michigan showed that 9 out of 10 fraternity brothers, so the boys that stay in the house, have binge drank in the last 2 weeks, compared to 32.4% of young college students who are not involved in Greek life, and the 28.7% of young adults who are not involved in college. So that means that being involved in a sorority or fraternity, you are drinking 3 times the amount of alcohol than you would without being in one. Um, this amount of alcohol intake can lead to poor judgment and poor decision making and can ultimately lead to student deaths. I have a personal experience with this with a friend named Riley Christensen. He was so happy, the sun on a cloudy day. He was really just the best person to be around. And he was so excited for college. He knew that these next 4 years were going to be the best 4 years of his life. Like many young adults, he wanted to become part of Greek life. And so he rushed a fraternity. Their hazing process was horrible. They had him take copious amounts of psychedelic drugs, dropped him off in the woods, and had him find his way back home with no phone, no direction, nothing. He ended up finding his way home, but he lost himself forever. From that day on, he was depressed, he changed, and he ultimately committed suicide. That's why it's very important to learn the effects of hazing and why it's so bad on students' mental health and physical health. So, what has been done? What can we do to stop hazing? Well, for starters, college campuses oftentimes do not associate or affiliate with Greek organizations, so that when something happens, they're no longer liable. We can start with having colleges take responsibility for these hazing in Greek life and have them uphold the same consequences they would for anything like that happening on campus. We can start with mandatory training students on what hazing is like and how to prevent it, as well as a zero tolerance policy. Every college should have a zero tolerance policy where hazing should not be allowed. And if it is happening, they should be expelled. The Stop College Hazing Act, or the SCHA, was signed in December 2024. That was 4 short months ago that this was signed. According to StopHazing.org, this means that now colleges are required to report any hazing accident on the annual security report and establish campus-wide hazing education and prevention programs, which is great because it's teaching students what it's really like. But this just happened, December 2024. We can do so much more to prevent anything else from happening sooner we can sign petitions. We can start our own petitions. We can visit stophazing.org and hazingprevention.org are really great sites to visit if you're trying to learn about hazing. It's important that we try to stop hazing. It's important that we see the truth about it and that we should bring light to it. Although Greek life can bring a sense of community and belonging, students need to know the physical demands and pressures that it takes, and it takes a toll on your mental health. College is hard enough with navigating life, schoolwork, friends. The last thing that we should be concerned about is surviving Greek life. The more that we know, the more that we can do to make sure students stop having humiliating experiences at college. Thank you.